Well, I am sorry, everybody. This is just not a night for doing a live, I guess. I don't know how far you guys got to see it. Very disconcerting here. Just gotta put this on. And we'll move on to the next card. Oh, I need to put these guys on. I feel like I need to start all over again. There we go. Card number 1 is complete. And here is card number 2 with Secret C for the base. It is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then I have a piece of white cardstock that is 4 by 5 1/4 that we are going to put on here, and I will go ahead and glue that on. And then I have a piece of the beautiful DSP, but we are actually going to use the back side that has that pretty design on it in Secret C. And that is going to go on here, but we are going to actually put a piece of that beautiful red ribbon across the center here. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that on with the Stampin' Seal. Right in the center. Like so. And this can actually get mounted on here. And I'm going to use the Stampin' Seal for mounting this one on because it has the foil. Okay. There we are. All right, so I cut out the gold foil. One of the die cuts is this nice leaf pattern. And again, some of the shorter pieces of the pine bough, and I'm actually going to cut this apart to make it line up a little bit better with this, because when you put this on, most of it is kind of covered up, and I wanted more of it to show. So this is die cut out of the DSP. That was the back side. There's the front. And we are going to cut this bottom piece off. I'm going to cut this piece off. And then I'm going to cut up the center of the stem. So you have just a wee bit on each side, because we are going to spread out these leaves a little bit. There. Okay. So this is going to go near the bottom here. And this one is going at the top. And I'm just going to keep lining these up to see how it fits. Where I want it to slide out more. Kind of like that. And then I thought it would be nice to put some more evergreens in. So we're going to add those in here. Just keep dry fitting everything together. Haven't done any gluing yet. Bring that up just a wee bit more. And I think that's going to fit grand on there. It is. And I think bring it down just a little bit, because I have to have room for the sentiment at the bottom. Okay, so we have, I'm sorry, Char, I'm very sorry it's going in and out. I've never had that happen like that before. I don't know what the problem is. So I started this other card here, so once I get done I'll show it to you in completion. So this is one of the die cuts from the DSP, and I took pieces of the pine bough, and I have that laid in here. This was one piece together, and I cut it up the center and cut off the top, and I'm just laying it out so I can get the best view of this beautiful gold foil leaves coming out on the sides. And once I have it set, then I'm just going to take my die cut image, and I'm just going to put the tape on it, and we're going to add that over the top of this, and everything should be lined up perfectly and will stick like so. So it's all set to go on your card. But I thought maybe it might be nice to have a little circle or something, and I've got a piece of white paper here that I think is big enough for a circle. It's not quite, but you know what? We can get just most of it in. There's just a little bit at the top, and that's going to be covered up in here, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just thought that that would give it a little bit more of a spotlight. Like so. I'm going to bring that up. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just use this glue that I've got here. Like so. And this I'm going to pop up with dimensionals, this piece. Make it have a little bit more. Oh, I'm down to the last of this one. Make it look a little bit more important, I guess. Yeah, it looks like it's probably enough. All right. Get these off. I'm almost done with this one. This one's a quick one. You know, once I got past that first one, things would go faster. And I hope that we don't go. I hope you don't lose me again. I don't know, where were we at when you lost me this last time? I noticed it when I was almost done putting the first card together. Jeez, where did this long piece of hair come from? Not from me. Holy cow. Okay, I have a piece of, what is this, 1/2 inch. And I'm going to stamp our Merry Christmas on it. And it's, wait a second. Oh, I'm going to do the longer one. I think this will fit. 'Tis the season. Yes, it will fit on there. And then we'll just put it across the bottom here. And we're going to do it in Secrecy. Yay, Carol's back. Oh, good. I was just putting the inside saying that. Well, then you didn't miss too much. I'm glad. I just put the Wink of Stella on and the embellishments on the front. And I'll show you that once we get done here. I thought, gee whiz, is Facebook trying to tell me that they're only going to let me do one card at a time and maybe not even that much? They're going to cut me off? I thought, well, I'll have a lot of videos. Scissors. Okay, I'm just going to give it a, yeah, let's make it a, let's cut it in this way. Well, I'm really excited. I sat down today and worked out my classes. So I have several class to goes that I can tell you about that are going to be coming up. And the first one is going to be using this set. We're going to pop that up with some dimensionals. Ooh, just a few left on here. All right, the inside, I have to look and see what I did. Okay, that one's different. I got my two samples are completely different. Okay, so we're going to use Secrecy and my favorite sentiment. I might have to break down and buy a couple more sets that have sentiments in them. I don't know. I haven't looked at the other ones. I think there's other sentiments in the other sets that I have that I haven't brought out yet to use. So I was trying to concentrate on the stuff that we had here. Okay. There we go. And then I think, let me see what the flower is on the front. It's that flower. Okay. I've got that here someplace. All right, where'd it go? There it is. Okay. And we're going to do it in the red. Flip this over. And I think I pushed the color up on this. And yes, I can tell it's not so juicy. All right. And then to add a little pop to this one, I'm going to take light cherry cobbler. I think that's what I've got here. Yep. Light cherry cobbler. And I'm going to do the same thing I did with the colored pencil. But this time I'm going to do it with the blend. Just to add a little bit of definition there. Like so. Just, I don't know. I just think it adds a lot. I notice little details like that when I'm looking at a card or looking at anything, really, I guess, is the detail. To make a card and put that much effort in, I think just knows how much you care about the person you're sending the card to, maybe. I don't know. And this is going to go in the inside. Get rid of this for a little bit. And my glue. Yeah, it's so disappointing when you look up and see that nothing's happening on the screen. It's like, oh, golly. Once is enough, but twice? I was hoping you guys wouldn't give up on me. There we go. And let's put some of these pretty embellishments. Now, what color should we use? Should we use the red, the green? What you think? Light blue? Yeah, probably not the light blue because I don't have just Pool Party, and this isn't Pool Party. It's Cloud Cover. Let's see what the red looks like. Now let's see what the green looks like. Let's see what the gold looks like. Okay, what's your vote? Red, green, or gold? They all look very pretty. Green it is. Green was voted first. Okie dokie. I haven't used any of the golds yet. I should get busy. All right, green. Let's see. I think I like this size. And maybe a little one. Yeah, what the heck. Let's put one on there. There. Ooh, I like this one. And that one went fast. Next one should go even faster. I decided to splurge and do 3 tonight. Since I did, what was it, 6 the other night or 7? I can't even remember. I'll know when I get them out. Okay. This is the one we just did. Here are some of my samples that are different. So this one I did the embossing behind, and then in Pool Party, and then I took my blending brush in Pretty Peacock and just lightly went over it to try to pick up some of the detail in the embossing folder. And that's what that one is. And then this one, I had another one of those embossed images of the, holly and the berries. And I thought, oh, I'm going to try painting that. So I painted that the same way we did the other night with the Winkostella. And I thought, oh, let's try that one once. And I put that on there so it looked like a package almost. So those are my 3 from that one. And those are all cut from the DSP, which I liked. Okay, so how I finished the inside of this one, put the Winkostella on and added that on the inside. So, all right. Now, card number 4 is one that I have never made before. So, and that is taking the DSP and cutting it out using the dies. So I have a piece of cardstock that's 4 inches by 5 1/4, I think it is. And then I'm using the Textured Notes dies. So I used the largest one, went into that one, and then went into and the smallest one. You really wouldn't necessarily have to put the smallest one in there if you had something larger that you wanted to put over it. But there you have that. And I am just going to run this through, laid it out this afternoon. I thought, okay, now I can just run it through the machine here. And we'll see what we've got. Hopefully it's lined up well. Okay. Get this out of the way and get the rest of the card stuff out. This works really slick. I know I should have used the magnetic plate, but sometimes on thinner paper it does not cut super duper. Okay, so put these aside. All right, so we've got our 3 images, and this is one that's going to be done landscape. And the rest of the card stuff is here. If you saw it, we used Secret Sea. That's becoming my favorite cardstock lately. 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Now, I discovered when I did my sample that when you lay this one on, there was a big gap at the bottom. I didn't like that. So, and I see that I'm not exactly even on this one. I thought I was. Let me get this evened out first before I do any cutting on it. I ended up cutting, oops, sorry, I think I just hit the phone, didn't I? I did not like the way that it was okay on the sides. It was like a quarter of an inch off, but I needed to take 1/8 of an inch off of this. So then the width up and down is not going to be 4 1/4. It's going to be 4 1/8. So we're just going to take that little bit off. And you're going to see that that's going to fit on there much nicer. Voila. Okay. And there we go. Okay. And I'm going to use my tape runner again. I guess that's my favorite tonight. I don't use it that frequently. I had to use this side of the DSP since we used this side. The other side was feeling neglected. I thought, well, we can do another card, I think. Easy enough. Okay. Now, this next one, we're going to mat it on a piece of the Secret Sea. And this is 1/8 of an inch larger than this. The size is 2 3/8 by 3 7/8. Again, I'm going to put this on. Whoop. Okay, and then we can just glue this on and make sure that we've got our flowers lined up, is always a good thing. And I think I'm going to use this again. Stay with a good thing when I got it. And this little wee one. The cardstock is looks like 7/8. Right? Yeah, 7/8 by 2 3/8. Okay, not popping any of these up. Like so. Look at that, we got our card base. All right, now we are going to stamp a Merry Christmas on this little thin little piece that is 1/4 of an inch. And Merry Christmas, where are you? Oh, right here. Okay. We're going to do it in our real red. Got a little bit of pine boughs again. And this piece is just 3/8 of an inch. Well, let's stamp this first, and then I will see what the length is going to end up being if I have to change that at all. There we are. And another one of these that I'm going to do on an angle. Okay. Let's see how this lines up, and then I will... Ooh. Okay, so what I'm going to do is measure this length, and it is like 2 1/4, so I want this to be, let me look at that again, 2 1/4. So then I want this piece to be 2 and, well, what am I, bring the cutter down here, Jean. Goodness gracious. Okay, we want this to be 1/8 of an inch more than 2 1/4. So it's 2 3/8. Take that bit off. Okay. Now, as I showed you once before, we just push this corner up here so that we can get the angle duplicated from what we did on the white one. Hopefully you saw that. I wasn't off screen. All right, and then we can, this one I'm going to glue on with the glue. Come on. And this has just a little bit of an edge around it. Not much. Kind of hard to see over the black, my black thing. Okay, that's going to go in the center, but we need a little something behind that. So I thought a little piece of ribbon. A little piece of ribbon. Ribbon scissors. Alright. So I'm going to use this on here. Come on. There. Make that a little bit tighter. There. Okay. And that's going to go on here. I kind of want it to